I thought it would be super fun to reach back into the past, back to 2011 and subsequent years, and share some of my old blog posts with you, which were actually the launching pad to this podcast. They're all posted in a section called Thoughts by Me on my website. I'll put a link in the description. And there's actually some fun recipes on there that I had completely forgotten about that I will be revisiting. And there's some interesting challenges, like life challenges that I challenged myself to that I blogged about. Kind of fun. So let's take a blast to the past. Thoughts from the Couch, Part 1, from November of 2012. My son, my nephew, and I were sitting in the living room this afternoon. Nephew, who's 22, says, "When I have kids, I'm going to try to get them big into gaming," as he held up the DS. He added another comment on how his children would be raised, but let's leave that for part 2. I was blown away by that statement, and it got me thinking. The kids of their generation have been taught to stop doing anything physical. Just sit around the house, sucked into the game they're trying to beat or achieve higher levels. I thank the Lord that my son would rather be outside playing football or basketball or riding his bike. He plays games sometimes, but not on a daily or even weekly basis. Technology is great, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't be able to survive without it, but too much of a good thing can be a bad thing. When technology is interfering with relationships and physical activity, it's too much. Remember in Thoughts from a Sweat-Soaked Pillow, I told you about my marital strains? One of the culprits of our lack of communication was technology and gaming. When we made the decision to fight through the hardships, he sold his computer. Why? Because gaming is addictive. Mentally, suddenly you realize hours and hours have passed by and you haven't had a real conversation in who knows how long and haven't accomplished anything you set out to do that day. You know you've been there at some point. Another reason is because he realized our relationship meant more to him than the thing that kept taking him away from me. I know so many couples whose marriages are severely strained or completely fell apart because of excessive gaming. He still gets his computer fixed. I'm not the wicked wife of the West. Oh, wait, I live in the East. Whatever. Now he moderates himself. Don't worry, I gave up stuff too, but that's a different thought. What I realized on my journey through life is that one reason we're on the earth is for relationships. Relationship with God, relationship with family, relationship with friends, relationship with strangers, you get the point. There was a time not so long ago that families played games together. My son still will with me. Games that allowed for conversation and bonding. We were made to love. The Bible tells us, love one another 19 times. I listed a few. I'll read them to you in a second. If my friend told me something 19 times, I think it would register as important to me. These are the verses. Hebrews 10:24, 1 Thessalonians 4:9, Ephesians 4:2, Galatians 5:13, Romans 13:8, Romans 12:10, John 13:34, 1 Peter 1:22, 1 Peter 3:8, 1 John 3:11. In Matthew 22 it says, the greatest commandment. Hearing that Jesus had silenced the Sadducees, the Pharisees got together. One of them, an expert in the law, tested him with this question, "Teacher, which is the greatest commandment in the law?" Jesus replied, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment, and the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. All the law and the prophets hang on these two commandments." I'm not saying to delete all technology from family time. I'm saying that we need to make sure we're not trading our quality time for something that hinders our relationships and teaches us to seclude ourselves. We can't show each other love if we're hooked to an electronic device all the time. Thank you so much for being here today. If you haven't already,
Greater
hit
love
that
has
subscribe
no
button
one
right
but
there for me.
this, that he
And
lay his
click
life
the
down
bell
for
if
a
you want
friend.
notifications. And hit that
Build
like button
each
too.
other
And I
up.
will see you
Don't
next time.
cease, it's never
Maranatha.
enough. And now that he's washed me clean, I wanna follow where he leads. We were made to love, we were made to give. The reason why we're here, the reason why he gave us life. We were made to show the love of Christ. We know this is why we're here, this is why he gave us life. So let his love shine through in everything we do. It's all for love.